Dying Light's Zombie Hunt Week 2 did not get off to a good start. I'm actually a whole 24 hours late on this, purely because the event was not working. And it actually didn't come online until I was going to bed, and then I had to wait because I was going to work. So very disappointed. It ruined my plans for last night, but better late than never. So when you do load up Dying Light at the moment, you're going to see this on the home screen. It's a nice introduction to the event, and it was missing on week 1, so that must have been a bug. However, there are more bugs to come in this event, despite it finally coming online, and I shall get to that in a moment. So Old Town is the best place to achieve these events, these community goals, and the reason for that is the first one is that we've got to collect a lot of airdrops. Now when you look in your quests, you'll see that it tells you need to collect as many airdrops as you can to contribute to the 1 million total, and you're going to get 3 king mods for that. I thought it was only 1 when I saw the advert a couple of weeks ago, so that's not bad. And you can find the airdrops in the Old Town just laying around anywhere when you look on the map, and Rice's men are protecting them basically, and it's easy enough to just take those out with a high-powered shotgun and loot them for the disaster relief packs. So that's all there is to it for this event, and yeah, like I say, as long as you take part, then at the end of the event you will get these 3 king mods, which is great. And with my limited time in order to get this footage and put a video out without it being too late, having them just laying around ready to be collected rather than racing to try and beat Rice's men to them as you would have to do in the slums or the following, this is the better option for me. So the local goal is to kill Excavator Mike, and for that we're going to get the Recipe Blueprint, which is a booster which gives us a good few benefits, and yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that. So the event is called Excavator Crisis and describes Excavator Mike as a GRE operative, who's become gigantic. Obviously there's going to be quite a few of the regular demolishers around, and quite often I thought I'd come across Mike only to find that it wasn't him at all. And as you can see, these guys are really easy to dispatch of if you've got a decent shotgun. Mine's nearly 9,000 power. It only takes literally 2 to 3 well-timed shells, and they're done. I mean, look at this. Gone. But I can assure you, Excavator Mike is not so easy. Anyway, that is roughly where I ended up finding him, if you look on the map there. And this was my first encounter. Yeah, he's a big guy, and it turns out that he's definitely not easy to kill. And that's where the first bug came in. Some people were experiencing that Mike was completely invincible, and nothing they did even dented his health bar that you can see at the top there where it says Excavator Mike. The first thing you have to do is take out that other demolisher as you just saw, because he's just going to be throwing stones at you as well as Mike coming at you, and you've got this spitter up there on the bus just adding to your woes. Luckily though, it's quite enclosed here, so the zombies aren't going to be able to get in so easily, but you are going to attract virals every time there's an explosion. Now, I eventually managed to get the better of this guy, but I had to get very close to him. As you can see, he was almost within touching distance before one of my shots managed to take his helmet off. And it was only then that my shots after that point managed to do any damage. And this gap between the coaches here was a nice way of avoiding the rocks he was throwing at me. And in between his throws, I could nip back out, blast the guy a few times, and it wasn't long before I'd completed the community event and earned myself the Recipe Blueprint. You should be able to find this blueprint under the utility section of your blueprints menu, and it's right at the bottom because it's an orange blueprint. Yes, but it turns out we needed all of these ingredients, and I was missing some fluorescent mushrooms, so I had to take a trip to the other side of the map in order to pick some of these before I could even start crafting. Anyway, we will get to what that does in a moment. I just wanted to show you that I also found another location right near where the fluorescent mushrooms were. And yes, there was a second mic. I only found the 2 before I hung up me headphones and started making the video. But I just wanted to show that I took a different tack with this guy because I didn't have any shotgun shells on me. I hadn't anticipated meeting this one. And yeah, I just managed eventually, after seemingly not being able to dent him with the machine gun, eventually took his hat off. And then I just tried an array of different weapons like exploding arrows. And when I eventually ran out of pretty much everything, I just had no choice but to take the guy out as best I could with my angel sword. And as you can see, he was not so hemmed in as the first guy. Yes, the virals and the zombies were all around during the time he was throwing rocks at me, and I was trying my best to get the better of him. And believe me, he literally had me flying over the edge of the cliff a couple of times, as you can see there. And yes, but he's almost dead now. You can see the health bar is pretty much down, so those last couple of smacks with the angel sword really did have an effect, and it wasn't long after that when he came down with a thud, thankfully. Yes, so that was 2 Excavator Mikes I got, but obviously once you got the recipe, yes, you're not going to get a second one. So I was able to now craft the booster, and apparently you're going to get this, 25% extra health, infinite stamina, 50% speed, and 20% regen speed for 60 seconds. So yeah, this was the speed. It's not mega fast, but it's definitely an improvement. And yeah, you're going to be, I mean, the energy for me isn't such a factor. I'm playing on normal, and I'm legend level 181. So yeah, you're only going to really notice that, I suppose, if you're on Nightmare or if you're a beginner. But I still had a little bit of fun mashing up this crowd of zombies, as you can see. So the last thing I need to mention before I go is that the second bug people are experiencing is that they are simply not receiving the recipe blueprint after killing Excavator Mike. Even after they've killed 4 or 5 of them, nothing. And Techland are aware. I've looked into this, and they're working on it as we speak. And by the time I sat down and done my little playthrough, it seemed to be fixed. So we got there in the end, and yes, thankfully I was able to finally get a video out for you guys, and I can relax now. So if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.